Today we will be talking about family structures. That is, how cultures are organized and diagramming your own family. First, let's define kinship. Kinship means your blood relation. It's your relatives, your family ties. Now, as we go through the 5 different family structures, let's first see what we will be diagramming. It is important to know what you are looking at in the next few slides. As you can see, the male here is represented by a triangle, a female by a circle, marriage by an equal sign or a double line, a divorce or relationship that has ended will be slashed through, a relationship without marriage is a single line, descent is by a single vertical line, sibling tie you can see as an unclosed rectangle, and deceased or absent persons will be struck through. First type of family structure is couple without children. This is a husband and wife who reside in a single household. The diagram looks like a triangle with an equal sign and a circle. Here the red circle represents the female or the wife, while the blue triangle represents the husband. You should define on your chart as you follow along the definition of a couple without children and as well as diagram what that would look like. Nuclear family. This is your traditional mom, dad, and kids living in a single household. There could be many variations as we move through this PowerPoint lesson. For instance, there could be 1 child or 5 children, more or less. Number of children does not matter. Simply that it was husband, wife, and their children living in the same household. We call this a nuclear family. Single parent family. Here you will see the same thing as a nuclear family. However, the equal sign has been struck through indicating a divorce, as well as the parent, which would in this case be the triangle, which represents the male, has also been struck out. Now, this does not necessarily have to be a deceased parent. This again is another variation. The parent here could just be divorced and therefore the other parent lives just in another household. Also here again, the number of children can vary. Another variance could be the gender in which the absent parent or the deceased parent is maybe female instead of male. A blended family. This is your typical his, hers, and theirs. This is a husband and wife who live in a single household with children but have also brought with them children from prior relationships. So here you can see in the center of the diagram that there is a husband and wife. The triangle male blue husband is on the left while the female is on the right, or the wife. You can see that they have a single child together. This child is called theirs. This child is a female. If you look at the wife or the mother in this scenario, you can see that there is a relationship or a marriage that is either ended in divorce or does not longer any exist. That relationship produced a boy. As you can see, this would be her child and is referred to as hers. If you look on the left side of the diagram, the male in this relationship, the husband or the father, also was married prior or had another relationship with another woman who also brought with him to this new relationship his child, which is a girl, a female child. Now, if we talk about sibling relationship here, the male child and the female child in the center are half siblings, as are the females, because they share half of their DNA. The female child on the far left and the male child are step siblings. They do not share DNA, but rather may reside in the same household off and on or 100% of the time because their parents have married. Extended family or multi-generational family. Again, this is where we have more than just husband and wife and children living in a single household. Here we have mom and dad, but you can see there's another tier on the top. This is because with them also live the wife or the mother's parents. That would be the grandparents to the male child at the very bottom. But also again, with them lives the male child at the very bottom, his aunt on his mother's side. So you can see the grandparents had 2 female children. One female is married to a male, and they had a male child. A multi-generational or extended family will live all in one household and includes more than just one generation. So you have grandparents, parents, and aunts, and a child. Now, each family structure can vary in many different ways, including gender, relationship, and number of children, or aunts and uncles. Even cousins in this scenario could live under one household. Now, as you work through this and you diagram each family, hopefully you've paused so you can get the whole definition written down and the whole diagram. You should be also thinking about which family structure most closely represents your family. Or how does your family have one of the variances that I discussed in the prior slides? Would you say that your family is average? Which family structures are typical? Meaning the average family in the United States probably would be numbers 2, 3, and 4. The nuclear family, the single parent family, or the blended family are probably the most common in the United States. While we do have extended and multi-generational families in our country, they are probably not as typical as the other three. This is because of American attitudes, culture, and lifestyle. Typically, when our grandparents get older, what happens is we take grandma or grandpa or both to the nursing home, drop them off, and tell them we'll be back in a week or so to visit. In other cultures around the world, this is not acceptable. Your grandparents are your responsibility indefinitely until they are gone. Here in the United States, we have many nursing homes. Think of how many there are in Olathe. There are a lot. And that is just part of American culture. We do not feel compelled or obligated to take care of aging grandparents. Instead, we have facilities, nursing homes, that do this for us. So you can see by this one cultural aspect of America that we don't typically have a ton of extended or multi-generational families. I want you to also think about what that says about our society. Thank you. This is the conclusion of Lesson 2, Family Structures.